Nintendo obtains new anti-Palworld patent and seeks even more. So I've done a few videos already in regards to the Pokemon and Palworld lawsuit and all that type of stuff. I'm not the biggest fan that Nintendo was going after Palworld in regards to this lawsuit, mainly because of why they're going after them. So for anyone that doesn't know, the reasoning why Nintendo is going after Palworld is because of game patents, as opposed to the pals in the game actually looking like Pokemon and everything like that. So that in that type of copyright sense, that's what I thought they were going for at first, because of the fact that there are a few pals in the game that they do look like regular Pokemon, and it does look like they kind of take liberties with deciding how they wanted to make some of the creature designs look and everything like that. So that was my initial thought as to why Pokemon was going after Pocket Parent for Power World, but it turns out they're actually going after them for patents, and that's something I do not agree with and I don't like at all, because of the fact that when you start going after games companies and everything like that because of patents, it kind of leaves the door open for any other game company to kind of get a lawsuit headed their way because of it. And when you do stuff like that, I feel like in the long run, that's really going to hurt the gaming industry more so than it'll ever be able to help the gaming industry as well as Nintendo. So I feel like they're playing a dangerous game here. And I personally, I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it and I don't agree with it. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? Nintendo's going to Nintendo, so they're going to do their thing. So we'll go ahead and check out the article here per usual, and then I'll give my thoughts as we go along. So, Nintendo has secured what appears to be an anti-Power World patent in the United States. This development suggests that the company's legal dispute with the Power World maker could eventually go global, and that's something I personally do not want. I don't like the fact that they're going after them in Japan alone, let alone going into it globally, because at that point, it's going to leave a lot of room for American companies to have issues with Nintendo in the future. Because right now, the way that it's looking, it's in Japan alone. So, this is something that could already affect Japanese developers and stuff like that, and I don't want it coming to the states at all. I really don't like that. So in September of 2024, the Pokemon Company and Nintendo filed a joint lawsuit against Pocket Pair, alleging that Palworld infringes on multiple aspects of their intellectual properties. The case was brought before the Tokyo District Court and has so far remained in Japan. However, Nintendo has since also filed to secure some of the disputed patents in the US. And I don't like that. I mean, from what I've been hearing, it's not, I don't think it's going too well for Nintendo in that regard, because I think of the fact that some of it has gotten denied, if I'm not mistaken, because some of the patents that Nintendo has filed for have come out after Pocket Pair and Power World was released. So I think it's going to be one of those things where they're going to have a little bit of an issue because of the fact that, the game was already released. It decided to come with what it had when it came out, and I don't think really a game company can decide after the fact that a game was already come out that, oh, they have this and they have that, we're going to try to patent that now and then try to go after them for what they released in the past. So I could be mistaken, but if I'm not, yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit harder for Pokemon and Nintendo to be going after Power World in the states because of that. So the United States Patent and Trademark Office has recently granted one such application. GameSpray reports. Identified by U.S. patent number 12220638, the patent published on February 11th describes a gameplay system of capturing creatures. The invention is conceptually similar to a USPTO patent number 121791111 that Nintendo already secured at the tail end of 2024, with both of them being a part of the patent family that's at the center of the Power World lawsuit. So, some of the patents that they had, and I just yeah I really don't agree with the fact that patents are being included to try to do these lawsuits. I think that's really scummy of Nintendo to kind of go that direction, and I like I stated, I don't agree with it and I don't like it at all. So I mean, we'll see what happens. So Nintendo's new creature capture patent seems to target Power World. The key difference between the December 31st and February 11th patent is that the former's creature capture system distinguishes between a first and second mode of operation. It describes one screen for aiming a device, like a Pokeball, and another for capturing or battling a creature on a dedicated field. In contrast, the newly secured patent attempts to avoid the distinction by using different terminology, like replacing the phrase field character with virtual character. GamesFrey patent analysis Florian Mueller notes that Pocket Pair could argue Palworld's creature capture mechanics don't fit the dual mode terminology from the old patent, which might be the reason why Nintendo has now moved to cast an even wider net to patenting a more abstract system. And that's where I'm talking about, where it's kind of scummy of them to kind of go in that direction because they realize that field character can be taken in different ways, so they're trying to go to a virtual character, which at the end of the day, when you're playing a video game, every character is a virtual character. So again, it's just them trying to like get their hands on it in a different direction, which I think is really shitty, man. And I don't like it because like I stated already, it's gonna cause issues in the gaming industry in the future. So that's another reason why I'm just like I don't want this to go through in the US at all. In a prior statement on Games Rant, Mueller characterized Nintendo's Palworld lawsuit as a clear-cut case of bullying, which it is. The fact that the gaming giant is currently in the process of securing patents at the center of its Japan-only dispute with Pocket Pair in the US could signal that it's considering taking the legal battle global. Whether it actually decides to do so will presumably depend on the outcome of its recent stateside patent applications. So, yeah, I mean, that's really what we got to see what happens as far as how it goes here in the States. Like I said, I'm hoping it doesn't go well for them, especially considering that they're trying to do this after the fact that the game has been out, I think at this point for over a year. So, the fact that they're trying to get some patents now and then trying to use that into their lawsuit, yeah, I don't like that. Hopefully it doesn't go well with them in that regard. So Nintendo seeks even more anti-Palworld patents in the US. Not all of Nintendo's anti-Palworld US patents applications have been successful. In early December of 2024, the USPTO rejected one of them, number 18/652883, on 32 out of 33 claims. The remaining claim describes a system for switching mountable virtual creatures on the fly while the player character is riding them. The USPTO stated that this invention would be allowed if submitted independently. In early February of 2025, a Nintendo attorney requested an interview with a patent examiner to argue this case in greater detail and attempt to get more of its claims granted. And yeah, that's another one I don't like is the fact that if you're riding one of the creatures, that's one of the other patents that they're trying to go for to try to make it seem like, oh, if you're riding the creature, that's something that we decided that we created and we're the heads of in that regard. Because there's so many games that that are creature capture games like Palworld that have so many of these different mechanics that weren't created by Nintendo. You know what I mean? So it's the fact that, there's other games out there that probably could have sued them for those game mechanics if they wanted to try to go for it. But bet you anything, it was one of those things that like patents for that type of stuff wasn't even considered because it's such a weird idea to kind of go after game mechanics that in the sense that you want to try to make that your own. So if anyone else does that in a video game, you have the right to sue them. I just think that's so weird. And again, I don't like it and I don't agree with it. So when it comes down to this lawsuit, a part of me has really been on Palworld and Pocket Pair's side because as much as I love Nintendo, I think it's a great company and it's one that I grew up with. I feel like I stated, this is really going to hurt the gaming industry if they are able to capitalize on this and get the win when it comes down to this lawsuit. So hopefully that isn't the case, and hopefully, you know what I mean, Pocket Pair will be able to come out victorious in this one. So those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you guys agree with the fact that Nintendo is trying to get more patents to try to go up against Palworld, or do you think it's a little bit scummy of them with the way that they've been going, especially considering that they're trying to get patents after the fact that the game has been out already? So if you guys can let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, if you guys could like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys been watching this long, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Peace.